Good evening. I am Arachna of the Spider People, your hostess with mostess. And welcome to Beware Theater, because this be where you're gonna see some really bad movies. We have vampires, werewolves, monsters, aliens, and of course, the undead. So take a load off, pull up a couch, and fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna be a creepy night. Tonight, we watch 1941 horror mystery movie, Invisible Ghost. It was directed by Joseph H. Lewis and produced by Monogram Pictures and has a pretty creepy Bela Lugosi. Unfortunately for Bela, his fame from Dracula had faded by now. He had a breakup with Universal Studios, and he was so bad with money that he went bankrupt. And so he had to take pretty much any role that was offered to him. So he signed up for a 9-picture deal with Monogram, lovingly known as the Monogram 9. This was the first of those pictures. It's not the worst of the Monogram pictures, but it does leave us with a whole bunch of unanswered questions, like what's an invisible ghost? Does it turn you pale when you see it? Will it drive you crazy? These and many other questions Bela Lugosi had to wrestle with while he played kindly and very respected Dr. Kessler, a devoted family man and the head of this creepy old mansion where a whole bunch of unsolved murders had happened. Also, Dr. Kessler was bereft because his wife had left him a couple years ago, and he hasn't seen her since. Well, he does pretend to see her every year on their anniversary when he talks to her empty chair at dinner. So is she the invisible ghost? Is she ever going to come back to him? Stay tuned, folks. These and many other questions might be revealed later. Are you confused? Yes, this is a confusing plot, but it's well acted and kind of creepy. So now let's watch Invisible Ghost.
Good evening, Evans. Evening, sir. Dinner is served, Mr. Kessler. Thank you. Good evening, my dear. You're more beautiful than ever this evening. Mrs. Kessler first, Evans. Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
How's Dad taking it?
All right, Miss Virginia. They're having dinner.
I'll answer it.
Hello, Virginia.
I told you not to come here this evening, Ralph.
Why? Didn't you want to see me?
Well, it isn't that I didn't want to see you.
You're certainly acting strange, darling. What's all the mystery about?
Let's go into the library.
You see, Ralph,
Ralph!
After dinner, we are taking a long walk.
I'd like to speak to you, Ralph.
What's come over your father, Virginia? Is that why you didn't want me here tonight?
Yes.
It stopped me cold. I'm sorry if I accidentally stumbled on something you didn't want me to know.
Well, it must seem weird to someone who's never seen it before. It happens once a year.
You always appeared perfectly rational to me.
Well, there's something I must tell you. It's about my mother.
I don't understand.
Well, it happened several years ago. My father and mother were apparently as happy as two people could be. He worshipped her.
Another man.
The usual best friend. It almost broke my father's heart. He seems reconciled, but he never forgets their wedding anniversary and celebrates it that way.
Guess he isn't the only one who resorts to make-believe, but it does give one an uncanny feeling.
Well, it doesn't frighten me anymore. Now that you know.
I love you.
You wanted your coat, Miss Kessler.
Oh, yes, thank you. I was going to take a drive. It's such a beautiful night. Come along?
Yes, of course.
Sure you don't mind going?
No, I'd love it.
We'll be back in an hour, Cecile.
Yes, miss. That's a nice young man of Miss Virginia's.
I guess so. If he wasn't, Miss Virginia wouldn't bother with him.
Does she plan to marry him?
I never discuss things that aren't my business. If you want to stay here, I suggest you don't be so curious.
Well, just the same, I think this is a crazy house. And what about those murders? Jules here says there's been a lot of them, and nobody's ever been able to find out who did the killings.
You talk too much, Jules.
But I only said that...
Excuse me, Mr. Seal. Come, I'll show you where we keep our linens.
Kessler. Oh, Mrs. Kessler, I brought you your dinner. Oh, please, Mrs. Kessler, I gotta go home.
Home? I want to go home, too.
Oh, but you are home. And as soon as you feel better, I'm going to take you to your husband and daughter.
But they never write to me.
Oh, but they don't know where you are, Mrs. Kessler. Nobody knows that but me. You see, I found
I'm
you.
running away. We're running away in a car. We're going faster, faster, faster. We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. I can't go home now. Can I?
Mrs. Kessler, please. Please eat your dinner. I've got to go home. I'll be back in the morning. Good night, Mrs. Kessler. Good night.
You're late again, Jules.
I'm sorry, Mama. But I just couldn't get away from her.
Jules, why don't you tell Mr. Kessler about his wife, that you're hiding her?
Oh, I haven't got the heart, Mama. It would kill him if he saw her the way she is.
Poor thing. She'd be better off if she died with that man when that car was wrecked.
I guess so.
Jules, I've been thinking, maybe she had something to do with all these horrible murders.
Oh, she wouldn't hurt nobody. She's like a child. She's still dazed from the accident, you know, amnesia. But she'll be better soon. Then I'll take her home. But if they found out I've been hiding her, they might think I had something to do with the murder.
Jules, you must tell Mr. Kessler.
Oh, no, Mama. We must never tell anyone. Never.
Sure you won't come in?
No, thanks, darling. I think I better run along.
Good night, Ralph.
Oh, Virginia, shall I put your car away?
No, thanks. Evans will take care of it.
All right. Good night.
Good evening, Miss Virginia.
Will you please put my car in the garage when you have a moment?
Yes, miss.
Hello, Casanova.
Have you gone crazy?
The only chance I had to see you. You ignored my letters and my telephone calls. Did you think that you could get rid of me as easy as all that?
Be quiet. They'll hear you.
You bet they will. And you're going to listen to me, too. I'm not giving up to that Kessler girl or anybody else.
But this is different, Cecile. I never said I loved you.
Are you in love with her?
Yes.
Well, you're not marrying her, understand?
Nothing's going to stand in the way of my happiness. Not even you.
Don't threaten me. She'll have to know about us sooner or later. And besides, I'll make you a good wife, Ralph. I promise I will.
Guess what?
What?
I'm in love.
Ralph,
Yes, Dad.
he's a fine boy. I am so happy for you, my dear.
Oh, he hasn't asked me to marry him yet, but he will. I know he will. Good night, my pet.
Well, that's sweet.
Good night, Evans.
Good night, Miss Virginia. Can I do anything for you, sir, before I retire?
What happened to your hand, Evans?
Oh, nothing, sir. I heard it when I was putting Miss Virginia's car in the garage.
Did anything on it?
Oh, the bandage.
Oh, you may have an infection.
How's that? Just like new, sir. I guess I'll eat for a while.
Good night, Evans.
Good night, sir.
Oh, yes, Evans. Thank you for the dinner.
Yes, sir.
I'm afraid to come home. You'd kill me. You'd kill anybody.
Mr. Kessler.
You know, the old saying about having skeletons in your closet is about having bad things from your past that you don't want people to know about. And this movie is full of them. Like Dr. Kessler's wife ran away with another man several years ago. I mean, he seems okay with it, but then he moons at her picture, and then every year on their wedding anniversary, he sits and talks to her empty chair at dinner. And then his wife and her lover on the way out of town have this fatal car crash. He dies and she's left with brain damage. And the gardener, Jules, finds her, and he's been keeping her locked up in the basement of his gardening shed ever since until she gets her mind back. Newsflash to Jules, if she doesn't have it back by now, she's not gonna. And if you tell Dr. Kessler, you're probably gonna be in trouble. And then there's the new maid, Cecile. It turns out she's Dr. Kessler's daughter's boyfriend's possessive ex-girlfriend. Got that? She wants to blackmail him into getting back with her and to never marry Virginia. And then the butler hears them arguing out in the garden, and Ralph threatens her. And then, of course, there's all those unsolved murders that have been happening in this house. So if all of that isn't enough to fill several closets full of skeletons, Dr. Kessler's wife shows up one night at the window and telepathically kind of tells him, I'm afraid to come home, I'm afraid you'll kill me or kill someone else. So Dr. Kessler goes into this catatonic trance, and what does he do? He kills the maid. Whoa. And you know, folks, for a moment there, when he takes off his dressing gown and he starts at her with this leering look in his eye, I thought we might have something a little more X-rated, but luckily all he did was kill her. And Deadly, where are you going in that dressing gown? We don't have a maid.
Exercise number 1. Stand erect. Arms at the side. At the count of 1, close hands.
Cecile!
The fists on the chest. At the count of 2, put arms stretched on the head. At the count of 3, lower arms sideways.
If it's exercise you want, there's plenty of it in the kitchen.
At the count of 4, lower the arms to starting position.
Cecile!
Stand straight. Arms at side. Ready. Begin. 1, up, down. 1, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, up, down. 1, 2.
Mr. Kessler.
Yes?
Something terrible has happened. I tried to wake the new maid. I think she's dead.
Dead? How did it happen?
I don't know, sir. I thought she was taking her exercises.
Call the police. I'll see what I can do.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Kessler, we're up to our ears in another one. The girl was killed the same way as the chauffeur 6 months ago. The only thing we could find was this note left by some fellow who wanted to give her the air.
It's terrible, Lieutenant. She was so young.
If we could find out who killed Cecile, we have the one who committed all the other murders.
That's easier said than done. There's never been fingerprints, to say nothing of motives. What gets me, Mr. Kessler, is why you refuse to move out of this place.
Sentimental reasons.
There's nothing very sentimental about a house where anything could happen and usually does.
My mother lived here, Lieutenant.
Oh, I see. You're the gardener?
Yes, but I wasn't here. I went home early. You see, I live with my wife.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And please don't try to see me. Signed, Ralph.
Ralph?
Do you know him?
Oh, I'm certain I don't. Well, the name startled me. I'm practically engaged to a Ralph.
Did you notice anything unusual last night, Evans?
Well, maybe I better not say.
Let's have it, Evans.
When I was putting the roaster in the garage, I saw Cecile talk to Mr. Dixon. That's Miss Virginia's Ralph.
Go on.
I didn't mean to listen, but they were talking loud. Then I heard him say that he never loved her. And she said she wasn't going to let him marry anyone else. That made him real mad and said nothing was going to stand between him and his happiness. Not even her.
I knew Cecile a couple of years. She offered me the companionship I needed. Then I met you and fell in love for the first time.
I love you too, Ralph.
Surely you can account for your activities from the time you left our house until the next morning.
No, Mr. Kessler. I had a lot to think about. I took a long ride into the country, didn't stop anywhere, and didn't see a soul I knew.
It's most unfortunate.
All I know is that I didn't kill her.
There isn't any doubt about that in our minds. Don't worry, son. We'll do everything we possibly can.
Order! Order in the courtroom. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I managed the apartments where Ralph Dixon lived. Miss Mannix came there often. As a matter of fact, I thought they were married.
I went home early and helped my wife with the house cleaning.
The coroner's testimony should convince you that the defendant had sufficient reason for wanting to be rid of the victim.
It's the truth. Said he would let nothing stand in the way of his happiness. Not even her.
We're doing everything we possibly can. Tomorrow we're going to see the governor, and I'm sure something can be done.
But, Governor, the man is innocent. If you would only grant a stay of execution.
If you knew him, you'd realize he couldn't possibly be a murderer.
I'm sorry. I've gone over the facts in the case, and unless you can present some new evidence, there's nothing I can do.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yes? I see. It's all over.
My name is Dixon.
Yes. Of course.
I'd like to see Mr. Kessler.
He's in there.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, Ralph.
It can't be.
Apparently my brother never told you about me.
Come in.
I've been in South America. I flew here at once. However, I'm afraid it's too late to do any good.
So you're Ralph's brother. Who knew about you, but I never expected such a striking resemblance.
Sorry to have startled you.
This is my daughter, Virginia.
How do you do?
Won't you join us?
I've had my dinner, thanks, but I would like to talk to you.
Do I look pale?
No. Huh?
I feel pale.
The buzz, Evans. What's the matter, you thief?
Did he have a good attorney?
Oh, one of the very best. He's handled all of Dad's legal affairs for years.
Evans, Mr. Dixon will have coffee with us.
Oh, I'm Ralph Dixon's brother.
Well, you sure had me going for a minute. But you do look like poor Mr. Ralph.
Coffee.
Yes, sir.
I realize how incriminating circumstantial evidence can be, but it's never brought home to me like this before.
We did everything we possibly could. You know that Ralph and my daughter were quite serious about each other.
Yes, he told me in his last letter.
Sit down. How long do you plan to stay in this country?
Haven't decided yet, Mr. Kessler, but I would like to find out who killed that girl.
It's something I would like to know, too. Please consider this your home while you're here. If there's anything I can do, don't hesitate.
Oh, thank you.
I see that your room is put in order.
Sure I'm not troubling you?
No, not at all. Entertain Paul till I come back. Paul!
Yes?
I'll show you to your room.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I almost forgot. I must see Evans. Oh, about breakfast and things.
Oh, good night, Virginia.
Good night, Paul. Good night, Dad.
Come in. I hope you'll be comfortable. I sent for your luggage in the morning.
It's awfully nice of you, Mr. Kessler. Really, I hope
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, sir. Well, I guess I'll turn in. I haven't had much sleep the last couple of nights.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
So for a guy who lives in a really creepy mansion where many of his staff have been murdered and the police can't solve those murders, Dr. Kessler looks pretty calm. And he's not moving out anytime soon because, well, he's waiting for his wife to come back. Dr. Kessler, there's a couple things you need to know. She's back, she's crazy, and she's driving you crazy. Unless, of course, you were crazy to start with. They don't say. Cigar-chomping Lieutenant Williams wants to find the murderer of Cecile. Correction, he needs to find the murderer. He needs to find any murderer. So when he finds the breakup note that Ralph sent Cecile, and then when Evans says that he heard them arguing really loud in the garden, and then when Ralph said, no, I don't really have an alibi, well, Lieutenant Williams arrests him for the murder of Cecile. It's a slam dunk. And then we see the wheels of justice moving at lightning speed, and for the next 3.5 minutes, we see a quickie trial, a sentencing, and an execution of poor Ralph, an innocent man. Unfortunately, those kind of things happen way too often in real life. So now that Ralph has been written out of the script, his twin brother Paul from South America shows up because he wants to investigate what happened to Ralph. And he also is saving the producer a whole lot of money because it's the same actor. So when Evans opens the door and he sees this guy who looks like Ralph come back from the dead, well, he says, I was scared pale. And thankfully, they gave Clarence Muse, who plays the part of Evans, a straight part, instead of one of those demeaning, stereotypical parts that they gave black actors back then. And he plays a wonderful part, and you might recognize him as the driver of the carriage in White Zombie. So Paul moves in with the Kesslers, and he seems to be a really calming influence on them. That is, until Kessler's wife shows up again at the window, and he goes into his catatonic, murderous state, goes into the kitchen, and he kills the gardener while he's stealing food out of the refrigerator to feed his wife. Who's going to feed her now? Deadly, who are you calling? Oh, you're ordering a pizza to be delivered to the basement apartment of Kessler's wife. How thoughtful of you.
Hello, operator. Give me the police department. No. The body has not been touched. Yes. All right.
Good morning, Evans.
Good morning, Mr. Kessler.
What's the matter?
The gardener, sir.
What?
He's been murdered.
Murdered?
Strangled. Well, here we go again. How long did he work for you?
Oh, about 3 years, I guess.
Ever say anything to you about having any enemies?
No, sir.
Were you home last night?
Yes, Lieutenant.
To your knowledge, did anybody come in or go out of the house during the course of the evening?
We have a house guest.
Why isn't he here?
I'll get him.
Oh, don't trouble yourself, Mr. Kessler. Where is he?
He's upstairs in his bedroom.
Let's have a look at him, Ryan.
Good morning.
You're wanted in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Am I seeing things?
He's Ralph's brother.
Well, he's the image of him.
How did this happen?
That's what we'd like to find out.
He was strangled, Paul. Would you mind if we go into the library?
No, that's all right. Better wait here for the coroner, Ryan. Not you, Evans.
Hey, where were you on the night of January the 13th? Have you had your coffee yet? No.
Well, I guess that's that. No clues, no fingerprints, no motive, nothing.
But surely if a man was choked to death, there would be imprints on his throat.
There weren't any on the Mannix girl.
Then they were killed the same way, is that right?
That doesn't prove a thing, Dixon. All the others got it, and always the same way.
The coroner's here.
Okay. I'll be right back.
What does he mean by the others?
Just that. Others have been killed here.
Why in the world do you stay in this place?
We can't leave.
Oh, Evans.
Your luggage, sir. I'll put them in your room.
What about these other murders?
I'll put your luggage in your room, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Well, there'll be a change anyhow. What's bothering you?
As a rule, I'm not a very curious person, but,
I was beginning to get you, huh?
in a way, yes. What about these other murders?
Well, there's been quite a lot of them, Dixon. Some of the best brains in the department have tried to solve them. But we always run up against a stone wall.
Weren't the other murders brought out in my brother's trial?
That was different. That was a cut-and-dried case.
Why haven't the police closed the house?
Oh, we tried to, but Mr. Kessler took it to court. Carries a lot of weight around here. Does a lot of good, too.
You think he'd want to leave?
I guess he's waiting for his wife to come back. She left him several years ago. An awful scandal at the time. Front-page stuff and all that.
Poor devil. He didn't have a chance.
Well, I guess I'll be running along. Glad I met you, Dixon.
Good day, Lieutenant. Well, this isn't a very pleasant way to entertain a guest.
You know, Mr. Kessler, I have a feeling that somehow or other these mysterious murders are going to be cleared up, and quickly, too.
Nothing would please me more.
Your wife?
Yes.
She's beautiful.
I rarely talk about her, but I think about her constantly.
She has eyes like Virginia.
Her hair, her skin, they were the loveliest I've ever seen. I hope you have the pleasure meeting her. She'll be back someday.
Hello there.
Paul was admiring your mother's picture.
Father's a sentimentalist.
He has every right to be.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes? Just a moment, please. It's for you, Dad.
Thank you. Yes? Yes, I guess I can. Yes. Oh, in about 20 minutes, I'd say? Surely. Goodbye. I'll see you children later. Business. Sorry. That's the only information I can give you, Mr. Kirby. Have you notified his wife?
Yes, Mr. Kessler. Poor thing, she took it quite hard.
It's terrible. Awful.
I want to see the coroner
Yes?
and Jules' wife. Where are they taken?
In there, Mrs. Mason.
If you please, sir. May I have one moment alone with him? I won't ever see him again.
Well, yes, I guess so.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Mason. Mrs. Mason. You'd better take her out, Mr. Kirby.
He's alive.
What?
He's alive. I saw him move.
I'll get the hospital.
You'll be all right, Mrs. Mason. Steady now.
Get him out of here. He's not dead.
The doctor will be here any minute.
Jules.
Please, Mrs. Mason. Jules, listen to me. Did you recognize the man who tried to kill you? It was ghastly. I don't believe I was ever more startled in my life than when Mrs. Mason screamed.
It must have been a terrific shock to see him come back to life.
Yes, it was. Just a few moments longer, and I would have known who the assailant was.
I don't like to bring up the subject, Mr. Kessler, but these murders, did they ever happen in the daytime?
No, I don't believe so.
I see.
You evidently have some reason for asking.
Not particularly. I was just curious about that one point.
Yes, sorry dinner is late tonight, sir. But the new cook is having quite a time getting started.
That's all right.
Evan's been with you long?
Over 7 years.
Everything's gone wrong today. Now I burned the roast.
Oh, don't get so flustered. You'll be all right.
I was so anxious to make good. I want to stay. Oh, where's that mixing spoon?
Here it is. Right in front of you.
Thanks. I like it here. It's nice. Everything's so quiet and peaceful, like.
Ever read the newspapers?
No, they're just full of trash and murders and stuff.
What you don't know, well, it's all right. Here's your pepper salt.
Thanks.
Well, Paul, I'm afraid you have me cornered.
You still have a couple of moves, Mr. Kessler.
You've met your equal, Dad.
Oh, your father just got himself into a bad position.
You're going to be a storm. It's your game, Paul.
Want to play another?
No, thank you. Not tonight. It's getting late.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
But may I speak to you a moment, please?
Oh, yes, certainly.
The cook wants to leave. I thought you should know.
Why? She just came.
She feels as if her work is unsatisfactory. She had so much trouble with dinner tonight.
Why, that's ridiculous. Oh, I understand. It's her first day. I'll speak to her.
I'll say good night, Mr. Kessler. Think I'll turn in. Thanks for the game.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, child.
I'll walk up with you, Paul.
Oh, glad to have your company. It's a long, lonesome climb up those stairs all alone.
Where are you going, Marie? You can't leave us after cooking such an elegant dinner.
Did you really like it, Mr. Kessler?
Why, I never tasted anything to equal that roast beef. Besides, you can't go now. It's going to rain in a minute.
Are you sure you want me to stay?
Certainly, Marie.
Well, I like it here, but I thought...
Oh, then it is settled.
Oh, wait till you taste my apple pie, Mr. Kessler.
Apple pie? My, that will be a treat.
Oh, let me take this. You might as well unpack your things,
Yes,
Marie.
sure. Thank you, sir.
Not at all, Marie. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Kessler. Oh, he's a wonderful man.
Now, let's see. What did I do wrong?
Mr. Kessler? Mr. Kessler, are you ill?
What?
Something wrong?
Hello, Paul.
must have walked in my sleep.
Well, you did better than I. I couldn't sleep at all.
It's raining. Why don't you go to bed, Paul? I'm all right.
Is there anything I can do?
Nothing, Paul. Thank you. I think I'll read for a while. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Kessler.
Poor Evans. He finds yet another dead body in this creepy old house, this time in the kitchen. So he calls the police, and after Lieutenant Williams and his partner come, and after they stop being so shocked that Paul is the spitting image of his twin brother, they question everybody, including Paul. But like before, no clues, no fingerprints, no motives. And does anybody else think that Lieutenant Columbo on TV might have been patterned after Lieutenant Williams? I mean, the rumpled coat, the big old cigar, and the stupid look on his face. What am I saying? Columbo always solved his murders. These guys are useless. So Paul takes it upon himself to investigate the previous murders more thoroughly because, well, they weren't used in his brother's trial, and that he would like to know why the police weren't more diligent in their investigations. Meanwhile, back at the coroner's office, the gardener's wife comes to view his dead body, and surprise, he's still alive and blinking his eyes. Unfortunately, he doesn't stay alive long enough to say who killed him. I mean, Dr. Kessler was right in the room. He could have just pointed at him, but he doesn't. Meanwhile, it was a dark and stormy night, and neither rain nor sleet nor hail could keep Mrs. Kessler from sneaking out of the basement and going to the window and staring at her husband. And right on cue, Dr. Kessler turns into this zombie-like character and stomps around the house with his hand out like a claw, looking for somebody to kill. So he goes upstairs and he goes to his daughter's bedroom and to Paul's bedroom. But luckily, something inside of him keeps him from killing them. Instead, he just claws the heck out of that window where his wife's standing. And what, Deadly? Where was I the night of the murders? And what's my alibi? I've been sitting here all this time watching this stupid movie with you. That's my alibi.
Well, you look like you had a good night's sleep, Mr. Kessler.
I was so tired when I got to bed, I don't even remember climbing in.
Dad! Who would do a thing like that?
I wonder if anyone was hurt.
Oh, Nothing could have hurt my father more.
It's unquestionably the work of a madman.
You're right, Evans.
Yes, sir, Mr. Kessler. Good morning, sir.
Where is the new cook?
She says she'll go shopping first thing this morning.
Have you looked in her room?
No, sir. Something wrong, Mr. Kessler? There's a valise. She didn't leave.
I'm not worried about that. When did she tell you she's going to the market?
Last night before she went to bed.
Do you think there's any connection between this and what has happened before?
I don't know.
Have you been through the rest of the house yet?
No, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Kessler.
Oh, Marie. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
Thank you. I wonder why he was so glad to see me.
Mr. Kessler thought you had been murdered.
Oh, he's so sweet. I'm going to start to make that apple pie right. Murdered?
I can't imagine who would do a thing like that.
I'll get it.
Good morning, Miss Kessler.
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
That happened last night.
Didn't it fall?
No. Find me the person who did it and you've got your murderer.
Nobody came into this house last night. Ryan and his boys were stationed outside.
Lieutenant. Oh, Lieutenant.
It's Ryan.
Then you didn't hear any noises during the night?
No, but there's funny things going on around here.
Meaning what?
Well, this happened 3 times now. I put food on the sink, left the room. When I come back, it was gone.
No. You ought to hire a detective to watch it.
That's what you get for being such an excellent cook.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yeah? You got something?
I don't know. I found this in the picture.
Anybody else know about it?
No, I wanted to speak to you first.
Okay. I'll see if I can match it. Keep the others downstairs.
Why not?
I agree.
Is this yours, Mr. Kessler?
Yes. Why?
I thought I'd seen it on you. Found it in Evans's room.
Well, there's nothing strange about that.
There wouldn't be, Mr. Kessler, but it so happens that a thread from this robe was found embedded in the picture.
Surely you're not trying to accuse Evans.
Oh, it's incredible. You're just trying to make a case.
Well, somebody's been doing these killings. Ryan didn't die of heart failure. Don't forget that.
When did you give Evans that robe, Mr. Kessler?
I don't remember giving it to him at all. But naturally, when my things need mending, he just picks them up.
I don't care how he got it. He had it and he used it on that picture. I'm going to talk to him.
Just a minute, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
If Evans is the man we want, it strikes me you've got to have more evidence.
Now, everybody wants to be a detective.
Oh, wait a minute. Perhaps Paul has some suggestion.
All right, go ahead. What is it?
Without doubt, the murderer is insane. The picture tells us that. I believe we should call in a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist?
You still got the robe. But before Evans is accused, I'm definitely in favor of giving him a sanity test. What do you say, Lieutenant?
Okay. Maybe I better take one myself. All we want to know is if the fellow's crazy.
That's very easy to determine. Shall we make the examination here?
If you don't mind, Doctor. Please tell Evans I want to see him and then go up to your room.
Go to my room.
Is it possible, Doctor, for a man to be normal, say, for 2 or 3 months at a time, then go completely insane for an hour or two?
Yes, quite common.
This should be most interesting.
Now what?
A fuse must have blown.
I light the candles.
The fuse burned out, Miss Virginia.
Oh, thank you. My father wants to see you, Evans. He's in his room.
Yes, miss.
That'll have to do, gentlemen, until the lights are fixed.
I'll be in my room, Evans.
Yes, miss. I'm sorry, Mr. Kessler, but we ran out of fuses. I sent Marie over to the store to get some more, sir.
That's all right, Evans. Sit down.
Pardon me, sir.
Go ahead, Evans. Sit down. We want to talk to you.
All right, sit down.
Do you want to speak to me, sir?
This gentleman would like to ask you a few questions, Evans.
Yes, sir.
Do you know these men?
Yes, sir.
What's this gentleman's name?
Mr. Kessler. Mr. Charles Kessler, sir.
Would you say that Mr. Kessler is out of his mind?
I don't understand you.
Would you say that he is insane?
No, sir.
Well, young lady, what are you doing here?
You can't take it. You can't take it. It's mine, I tell you.
Okay, sister, it's yours.
Leave me alone. I'm going home. Home to my husband. And my daughter.
Of course you are, and we know where you live, too.
You do?
Sure.
But I'm dead, you understand? I'm dead.
Of course you are. I'll take you where you want to go. Now you just come with me, young lady.
Tell me, Evans, do you think this man is crazy?
Now, don't ask him that, Doc. I'm beginning to have doubts myself.
Please, Lieutenant.
Oh, all right, all right. Am I crazy?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I know that woman. She's wicked. She can't go home.
Yes. Yes, I know. She's bad. Now you come with me. There we are.
Ever see this before?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing with it last night?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
What we found.
Miss Kessler.
I'm dead, Charles. Do you hear me? I'm dead. afraid to come home. You'd kill me. You'd kill anybody.
It's Kessler.
Take her out, quickly.
Mr. Kessler!
Oh, Dad!
Get back in there! Close that door!
Now you sit right there, and we'll see that you get home all right. What do we time? Give me a hand, George. She's dead.
What happened here?
We've got the murderer.
Evans.
No, Mr. Kessler. You.
I knew you'd come back. Nothing can part us now, my darling.
So there you have it. Another monochromatic movie marvel and kind of confusing. This movie teaches me that if you're going to have the same actor play twin brothers in a movie, at least have them look a little different. It also teaches me that even though movies are all about pretending, at least have the movie tell us what we're pretending, instead of all these unanswered questions, like why the main character kills people, and why the title of the movie is about something that doesn't even appear in the movie. Although it is invisible, so I guess it could have appeared and we missed it. So until next time, or not, this is Arachna, the spider people, wishing you a nighty night and reminding you to close your drapes at night so invisible ghosts don't drive you crazy. Oh, Deadly, I've never stayed at a bed and breakfast before. This ought to be fun. And it sounds really creepy, but really far out in the boonies. Look at that sign, though. It says Dead at Breakfast. What does that mean? Hello? Anybody here?
Good evening. I am Anya, hostess here at the Dead at Breakfast. Welcome. The rules of the house are no smoking, no drinking, no loud noises that would wake the dead. Dinner is precisely at 8 o'clock. Don't be late and dress appropriately. You're welcome to wander around the gardens, but don't dig anything up, and if you see the gardener digging or planting, let him be. Now, please, sign the guest book.
Okay. Lots of rules. I got it. Do you have a pen so I can sign that book?
No pen. All you need to do is place your hand on the book, and it will sense whether you are alive or dead, and how much longer before you leave. Oh, look, a mixed couple. How interesting.
Why did you take our picture?
Oh, this is for our portrait book. Everyone who stays here gets a portrait. Your room is on the second floor, first door to the right. The butler will bring up your bags. Keep it tidy. Anything you leave behind will be burned to prevent disease. Have a pleasant stay.
Okay, let's go to our room. Deadly, they weren't kidding on the website when they said this would be a creepy experience. Yikes, Deadly. Those animated portraits are really creepy. I swear they're watching us. Deadly, what kind of bedroom is this? Coffins. Well, you ought to feel at home because you already sleep in a coffin. But me, I'm not so sure. And who's that?
Good evening. I'm here to turn down your bed. And if you're thinking of locking your door tonight, it won't make any difference. The safest place to be is in one of these things with the lid on tight. Pleasant dreams.
Your bags.
Did you just see what I just saw? Let's go back downstairs. I don't think I want to stay up here anymore. Oh, those portraits again. I swear they're trying to say something. Oh. Okay, Deadly, let's go out in the garden. It's got to be less creepy out there. Whoa, Deadly, some garden. It looks like a cemetery. Deadly? What are you doing down there?
Hey, I'm working here. Get your own hole, skeleton man.
Deadly, are you okay? Oh, sorry, Mr. Gardener. Deadly didn't see the hole. Geez, Deadly, that hole looks like a grave. And those garden markers are really strange. It looks like somebody's front yard at Halloween out here. Let's go back inside. It's time for dinner.
Stupid tourist.
Well, at least the dining room looks normal.
Thank you for being on time.
Oh, hello, Anya.
Since you're our only guest here, please sit next to me. The other seats are assigned to the help. And here they are now. So, Cookie, tell me what delicious, creepy thing you have made for dinner tonight.
Well, since it's Italian night, it's cadaverous linguine.
Ah, yes. We eat family style here, so when it comes, dive in. Jeeves, thank you.
Dinner is served.
Don't be alarmed. Have some.
Oh, no, thank you.
No, I insist. The gardener spent a lot of time digging up these ingredients. Please, have some.
Can we be excused? We're really tired. It was a long drive out here, way in the boonies, wherever this is.
Sit down. The fun's about to begin at our nightly hide and seek. You never know what you're going to find unless you seek. So count to 10 and then try and find us.
Deadly! No, you bring Deadly back. Anya, this isn't funny. You bring him back right now. Where would I even begin to look?
Well, wherever you look, don't make a mess that I have to clean up.
Yeah, there's plenty of hardened places in that garden. The kitchen is off limits. I have a cake baking. They're gone. Oh, no. Deadly! Deadly! Deadly, where are you? Anya! Anya, come out now. Where do I even begin to look?
Psst, lady, hey, stop. Listen to me.
Who said that?
Listen to me and or I'll turn you into a portrait too.
But I have to find Deadly.
Oh, your friend's okay. He's dead. They can't hurt him.
But listen to me. Go to your room until midnight, and that's when the portraits go to sleep. Then go down to the dining room and slash all the portraits, all the staff portraits, so they don't have any power over us anymore. And then we can leave. Us portraits have been planning escape for a while, but we needed a real live person who wasn't a captive to help us. That's you. Would you help us, please?
Okay. I'll help you. I'll go to my room now. And I'll wait till midnight. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you for helping us. Don't forget, wait until midnight and then slash the portraits.
There's Deadly. Deadly! Psst, wake up! Wake up! Get down here! Come on! We gotta hack the portraits. Don't ask. I don't know. We're just in danger. We gotta hack the portraits. Oh, here's a knife. Okay. Look! It's working! Oh, we're free!
Oh, let's get out of here before they regroup.
Oh, yes. Yes, let's get out of here. Oh, I finally figured out what that sign means. Dead at breakfast. If you stay long enough, you're dead at breakfast.